Howdy folks, how you doing? Hope you're doing well and staying safe. I was looking forward to doing this because I just got the S-189. This is the Russian Tier 8 submarine in the Santa crates this winter, which is fantastic. I was looking forward to getting this up. I do like submarines. They are very much OP, in my opinion, but this one's actually pretty balanced, and I'll tell you why a bit later. So right off the bat, she was actually built in the 50s, and she's heavily influenced by the German Type 21. She was originally stationed in Vladivostok on the east coast of Russia, a town that I've actually been to in my time in the Royal Canadian Navy. I believe we were the first foreigners in there since World War II, if I remember correctly. It was the summer of 1990. It was great. Overall, like I said just a minute ago, she is very balanced and she's easy to play. It's a lot of fun. You're going to see some of the shenanigans or antics at the end of the play, but overall it's fun. So why don't we take the opportunity and we shall jump into what she does and what she has. And that's important about getting into it because she's a typical submarine, but she has some specialties. So she's got 19 mil of armor, which means you can be penetrated by anything, any destroyer, any kind of gun. Survivability is a bit low at 14.2. I think this should be an extra 2,000 personally. Sonar is 9.5 second reload time for pings, and durations of ping, of course, are 25 and 30 seconds respectively, depending on how the ping goes. Ping velocity is, well, almost 1,000 meters per second. That's like Russian railgun. Well, it's a Russian submarine, so of course it's really quick and really fast. All right, and it has a range of 9 kilometers. Torpedoes, there's 2 types, but first of all, there's 4 single tubes in the front and 2 single tubes in the back. They're both 53 centimeters. Now, the torpedoes that are homing have a range of 9 kilometers, can do just over 5,100 damage. They travel at 68 knots, which is decent, and a 1.7 kilometer detection. Now, the 38 Mike Zulas at the very bottom, those are straight shooting torpedoes, like you would get off a destroyer. They got a 12.3 kilometer range, 14.3 damage, and 78 knots with a 2 kilometer detectability. I like the fact the acoustic torpedoes have been reduced tremendously down for damage-wise. Dive capacity, it's standard 250 units, 1 unit, and a 0.8 for recharge dive capacity. Pretty straightforward. Maneuverability on the surface. Click the button, there we go. 31.5, 2.7 rudder. She can turn quite nicely on the surface. She's slow to start though, by the way, when you get going. Subsurface or below the water, 22.1. She's got a dive plane runnership of 6.8 seconds, but 3.2 meters per second at diving and surfacing. Tier 8, that's the best in the game. Detectability on the surface, 5.5, which is outstanding. And then detectability by the air and by periscope depth are both 2 kilometers. So you can run the surface even though aircraft are around you and not worry about being detected, which is fantastic. Alright, so let's go into my skills. I take everything for the sub. I take sonar modification. I take engine room protection because you're going to get shot at and depth charged. I do take torpedo tube modification. Main one is because the minus 40% risk of torpedo tubes becoming incapacitated. You need torpedoes or you're dead. That's the only weapon you're going to have on the boat. Now the next 2 I take for sure on a submarine. Submarine steering gears modification 2, and I take submarine steering gears modification 3. Why do I take both? I think these are both critical. First of all, minus 80% for steering gear repair time. You know, additional minus 40% for rudder shift time, minus 40% for diving. These 2 are just absolute must for me. Now above here, same thing I told you about sonar. You got your acoustic and you got your non-acoustic torpedoes. Now, ship's damage control, you only get 3 charges of this, so use it sparingly, but it reloads 48.5 seconds, not bad. The hydrophones, which is to detect submarines, or sorry, detect ships, 7 kilometer range underwater. It lasts only 30 seconds with a 64-second reload, and I'll get to you why it's important in captain skills. The next one's submarine surveillance. You see submarines underwater at 9 kilometers. Again, lasts 60 seconds, but a 64.6 second reload system. So these 2 are very important if you want to be on the surface or below the surface seeing ships and sub, and you can run them both at the same time. Those are my flags I take. Typically, you also notice there's a whole bunch that just don't count for flags because they just don't work, so I don't take them all. Now back to port. Let's go look at my Le Captain Vasily. Don't know how to say his last name. Jamensky. Again, I take everything for the submarine. Enhanced sonar. I also take helmsman, again, for sonar, submarine. And everything I can take for submarines when I take to make the submarine better. I do take priority target. I take last stand, and I do take this one because it's a specialty of this captain. Preventive maintenance and minus 45%. You need it for the submarine taking damage. Enhanced impulse generator, I take that as well. I also take the consumable expander because you do want to get the submarine and ship hydro back up as quick as possible. I take Solarman Expert. This is an additional 25% length on 1 ping and 2 pings. So I'm over the 45-second, close to 50-second range of having a double ping stay on a ship. That's just fantastic. I also take a large propeller shaft at plus 18% because that's a speed boost, and you really do need it. The more you get, the better. All right, so ASW, and this is just a bit of a joke. There's no anti-submarine. You see airplane, they're going to get within 2 kilometers. You need to dive. I just put this in quickly for a few seconds because it's very satisfying to kill a carrier. Very satisfying. And I do take the opportunity in my submarine to go hunt CBs all the time. So, a couple things you should know about the boat that make it very realistic and really well balanced. First of all, the acoustic torpedoes can be fired at any depth. On the surface, periscope depth, and down. I didn't know what this guy was. I was pushing forward here and the Sasho saw me, so I dove deep. This guy's pretty close. It was, yeah, I wasn't ready to see the Odin there. I was just kind of have an opportunity to see him. I thought the Sasho was dead, but it's not. That's her last position. If you notice, that's what Wargaming does now. It's kind of neat. These are the non-acoustic torpedoes. You can see that this is locked out. You cannot fire it unless you are at periscope depth or on the surface. Makes sense? And there's the Mogami in front of me. So overall, I think it's very balanced for that fact. And the reason why I think it's very balanced is that if you're using the acoustic torpedoes and you're going to shoot the Mogami, I'm just testing it on here, so I could have used acoustic. I chose not to. If you're going to do that, you do have the ability, but you're only going to do 5,100 damage max. These ones are 14. I got 1 or 2 shots of hits on. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I do damage to it. It's kind of fun. I'm very happy about this. His hydro detected me. I was kind of seeing, I wanted to test how his hydro works. So I got spotted. I want to see what happens. I'm down to a minute 28. It has lots of ability to dive underwater, not like I-56, the new Japanese submarine, which is about 2 minutes. This is over 4 minutes of being able to stay underwater. He's almost dead. I could have almost got him. Woulda, coulda, should have. But anyway, you tell me, do you have the submarine? Do you like it? Do you like subs? What do you think? Leave a comment down below. I want you guys to see the ending of this because Wargaming's art department nailed this. This was absolutely fantastic in my opinion. I really enjoyed this. Look at that. Cool, eh? All right. Take care. Stay safe. Bye for now.